Excuse me. Hello, everybody. This is Call of Cthulhu, a game by Focus Home Interactive and Cyanide Studios. It came out, I want to say like early last year, like around this time, or maybe a little earlier, or maybe it was later. No, you know what? I'm completely wrong. It was late last year when it came out. Just don't remember exactly which date, and I didn't really come to this pop quiz prepared. Um, it is a first-person adventure game with some mild action segments, I believe, and other things such as that. It kind of plays more like if I remember correctly, it's supposed to play more like the board game or the tabletop game. The game itself is based on a story by H.P. Lovecraft. Anyone watching this has probably heard of the name before, but he was a fiction writer in the early 1900s who got his start with like the little pop mags that would come out where they would have little stories. They didn't really have internet back in the day, so like the big thing was, reading all these little stories from him and like other writers, everything from H.G. Wells to again, I didn't really come equipped to this pop culture pop quiz here, but there was a lot of writers, even ones that are notable and or like had novels that would write to these things because it was quick money, and people loved them. Well, Lovecraft wrote tons of these, and he had a whole mythos built up around all these stories, and the core themes were like cosmic horror, like things that are unknowable or strange, you can't really understand, you're not meant to understand. Some of them range from more down to the earth monster stories, and then some of them are just out there. And if you've never read any of them, they're really good to go back and read. Do remember, though, they are a product of their times. It's never okay. It wasn't okay then. It's not okay now. But there is racism and other things in the stories. I'm assuming this game is going to feature, probably going to keep it low key, but there may be bad opinions in this game as well. So if that's a problem for the viewer that you can't watch stuff like that without it bothering you, I understand completely, by the way. But just keep in mind that you may hear things that might be uncomfortable. I'm not sure. I've played a little bit of the beginning of this game, and I don't remember anything that stands out. And I would think that since it was made in 2018, they probably glossed over a lot compared to H.P. Lovecraft's original writings. But this video really isn't about the change of how we view these kind of things and how we're progressing as a society towards a better one that doesn't, treat people like crap because of their nationality or anything. I mean, like, it's still there, but we're getting better slowly. But that's not really the focus of this. The focus of this is the game. And again, like I said, if there is something uncomfortable in here, I do apologize in advance. But I also don't think it's going to be even remotely on the same level of H.P. Lovecraft's writings. Because honestly, like, even going back and reading it, even I was like, oh man, that would not fly. Like, it wouldn't have flied 30 years ago, much less now. Well, anyway, Cthulhu is an elder being that supposedly lives under the sea. And he's been there basically forever, since probably before the dawn of man. And he doesn't really have any significant care for the mortal world. Humans to him are like ants are to us. I'm butchering probably some of the pronunciations here, but he lives in this ruin called Riley, which is like a city that's sunk down there with him. And he's part of numerous elder gods and deities and old ones that populate this mythos world, as well as all these necromancers and sorcerers and all kinds of crazy stuff. It is, like I said, if you okay with sitting down and reading it, the writing style feels a little dated, but it really is fascinating. And there are tons of stories wrote in the mythos, not just by H.P. Lovecraft, but by future authors. People are still, if I don't see them a whole lot, but people are still writing stories set in his world that he created. And whatever you may say about the man as a person, and he had a lot of bad opinions. Even for the time, some of his opinions were bad. But he did write interesting stories. And we can appreciate his stories, even if we can't appreciate who he was at times. Much like the same that, like, some of Mark Twain's stuff, just, like, the opinions and the way people acted just don't sit well. And it was possible he had bad opinions, too. But again, I'm really digressing here. Video isn't about defending or, approaching the societal issues and things that have changed and stuff like that. We're going to get into the game. Now, I'm going to try to adjust the brightness here. I tend to like my games dark, but I'm also aware that in streaming, things tend to come out darker than they do on the home display. So, I'm going to adjust it to what I think will be okay. And if you guys that are watching this live happen to have some trouble seeing things and it's too dark, just let me know and I will adjust it on the fly. I just started this game for the first time since I deleted it from my computer. I didn't delete it from my computer so it wasn't worth playing. I just got caught up with other things. And like a lot of people these days with the advent of Steam, I have a massive backlog. So as much as I would love to play all the games all the time, sometimes I get caught up playing other stuff or, etc., etc. Bring that FOV up a little bit. Everything else looks like it's pretty good. Perks of a RTX 2070, I guess. At 1080p, I have a hard time pushing it, and I've gushed about it before. And there's going to be somebody out there one day that might watch this and go, "Oh, what? 2070? I had a 2080 Ti," or, one of those. I had a Titan. Definitely have one. But with how old this computer is in general, you guys are lucky I even have a functioning hard drive. Oh, a little too far back there. Okay, new game. Yeah, see, I was a little ways into the game, but I haven't played. Came out near the beginning of last year. I don't know, I think things are just kind of moving together here, I guess. We're just going to go ahead and delete that, because it has been almost an entire year. As such, I remember very little. And I know there's supposed to be different kinds of endings for doing different stuff, if I remember. Like, making bad choices can lead to a bad ending or something like that. Like, drinking all the time won't necessarily have a good effect on your game. But honestly, I'm just going to play this like I would imagine a quote-unquote hero in one of Lovecraft's stories would be. I love sushi. And yes, I've read actually a lot of Lovecraft over the years, but to be honest, it's also been years since I have read it, so I have a tenuous general grasp. Like, I'm going to recognize names and stuff like that, but I probably am not an encyclopedic source of knowledge on this. You're definitely not going to get an exploring series from me, at least not without like substantial research beforehand. Honestly, you're better off going to the people that actually make series like that. But like I said, I can recommend, if for nothing else than just the interesting world that exists that he's written, And that's not to take any the limelight off the developers of this game. Like, they definitely did a really great job. Like, they nailed the feel of it pretty excellently. Like, this is not exactly what I meant. I mean, it's definitely gross, but like throughout the game, the lighting and just the general moodiness and just the kind of just oiliness to everybody and everything. It just kind of, it leaves you feeling dirty, but in a good way when it comes to experiencing like entertainment. Nothing really feels clean or austere or not or innocent. Like everything's has like a dark secret or is dirty. Crouch under here. It's not letting me, though. Or do I need, like, matches or something first? I might. Hey, look at that. By the way, generally, lamps don't glow this color. It does keep it with the visual theme. That was a monster. Yeah, and like... Whoa. Anybody that has like a fear of things underwater coming to get them, I'm pretty sure H.P. Lovecraft did too. Because there's so much about like things coming out of the ocean to get people. But you have to think too, like, I mean, it's kind of mysterious even now, even with all our advances of discoveries. But like back in like the early parts of the 1900s, like, you know, like the ocean really was mysterious. I mean, there were such deep fathoms that we could only begin to understand. I mean, they had bathyspheres and early diving suits, but they couldn't go down super far, and there was no telling what could be down there. I mean, reasoning people assumed that there weren't, like, cities of monsters and stuff living down there, but there's no way they could have been sure. How's the audio, by the way?
Good. Wait, your audio or the game?
What?
Your audio or the game?
Either one.
Yours is fine. I don't hear the games.
Why didn't you say something?
Because I honestly didn't notice.
Alright, so we're not getting any game audio. I know why. Okay, hold on 1 second. I can fix this. Because I know exactly what's going on. How's that?
Yeah.
Alright, we have audio now. I apologize anyone watching this after the fact that it took me so long to figure that out. They need to have a on the Stream Now section of YouTube, they need to have like an audio wavecraft that plays next to it. That way you can see that what's going on, even if you don't want to hear it again. Oh, that's a killer whale.
What a putrid offering.
It's not really clear if this being considers putrid to be a positive or negative adjective.
Don't fight. You have been chosen.
Or am I the putrid offering? Definitely getting shades of Eden's Gate here.
Be Behold. Everything has already been written. But perhaps you will attempt to change your destiny.
I hate whiskey.
I was literally listening to this earlier today. Hold on a second, I'll find the name of this. Also, I didn't consider that that's probably going to be a copyright issue. A little late for that, so if you guys have to endure some adverts or something after this, I apologize. I have it in a Spotify playlist. Now, if I don't immediately see it, I'll find out later. Okay, so I did find it. I mean, obviously, I'm not sure if this matches the original version, but there is a band called the Electro Swingers, or an artist called the Electro Swingers, and they have a song called Victorian Dream, and this is it. Though without listening to them side by side, I don't know how the way match up. I mean, theirs might be a mix of this, or this might be their actual original composition. I'm not sure, but I know that was kind of an aside, but I recognized it, and I was like, oh. I was just listening to this today on my way driving around town. Because I have it on my Spotify playlist for driving around.
I should get rid of all this stuff. Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
He's pretty well read.
A good old story of blackmail in a speakeasy. Been a while since I jotted down something other than my night.
I don't want to answer the phone yet because I feel like that might actually continue the game. The doctor can well repeat to me that I no longer need my remedy to keep my memories at bay, but I know that if I stop, the memories will return. One of these mornings, I probably won't wake up. It's 1924, by the way. Despite the treatment, I again hear voices in my dreams, but they are different, unknown. They seem to surface from a fathom of ancient depths. What nameless creature is calling me? That creature has a name? It's Whiskey. Yeah, it's gonna affect my destiny, but, I mean... I'm a washed-up, alcoholic private eye. This is my story.
I wonder why I still take these things.
Doctors prescribed them when I returned from the war. They swore that they would put an end to the nightmares before a while. Now their effect has been wearing off. Yeah, sleeping pills are not like a panacea for PTSD. I don't know a whole lot of PTSD, but I know there's more to the equation for helping somebody than just the sleep. I'm sure being able to sleep helps, but there's more to it.
The Wentworth Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases. I used to be an avid reader.
I can tell.
The Lost Battalion. Holding your position and obeying orders. That isn't courage.
Sorry about that.
Been too long since I've slept in a bed.
And he's been sleeping on his couch. Alright, I'm gonna answer this phone.
I'm listening.
Are you Edward Pierce, private investigator contracted by the Wentworth Detective Agency?
That's correct.
Hello, Mr. Pierce. I'm Lucy Sherrifield, in charge of investigators over at Wentworth. I'm calling because of a problem with your file. A fire has destroyed some of our documents.
Is that right?
I'm so very sorry, but I have to collect your personal information yet again.
And this is where we generate our character. There's going to be different skill checks you can do in the game. And you use these skills to do them. There are ways of getting more as you play. So far, he's pretty good at investigation and strength. Not so good at medicine and occultism, though. And not super great at spotting hidden items, psychology, or eloquence. Eloquence is good for dialogue, but... kind of want to drop something nice into one of these. That way, when we start encountering crazy stuff, maybe by then we'll be able to understand it.
Thank you for this information, Mr. Pierce. Our files will soon be up to date. And on a related matter, may I raise a sensitive question?
What's wrong?
As you know, we wish to closely monitor the progress of our contractors. And it would seem You've been accepting fewer new cases.
Work is scarce.
Mr. Pierce, you know as well as I do there's never been more investigative work than now.
But are those cases worth it?
They're worth not losing your license. Show yourself worthy of the Wentworth Detective Agency, and we might keep you on the payroll. Mr. Pierce, are you still...
I'm coming.
Sir, I came here on the advice of a person whom I hold in high esteem, and I must say that I expected anything but a drunkard's lair.
Is that the fan making that noise?
You're free to leave anytime, sir.
Do you know to whom you speak?
Stephen Webster, industrialist and art collector. All of Boston knows you.
Tell me, Mr. Pierce, are you capable of handling a new case, or are you simply a deadbeat inebriate?
If you come to me, it means you're desperate.
I'm a
Nobody
deadbeat
believes
inebriate.
me. They take me for an old fool. Sarah, my little girl, she is dead. Even you must know of her. She was Sarah Hawkins.
The painter? Yes. Everyone knows her work.
The police accuse her of killing her family. They all died in a fire. Sarah, her husband, and Simon, my grandson.
I can't do anything for a woman who is already dead.
Find out the truth. They say she was mad, but I know that's a lie. She would never have done such a thing.
But if you have no proof...
I've brought all that I have. Look. I want you to look carefully at this painting. Tell me all the assumptions that come to mind.
It's a hell of a painting.
What am I supposed to find?
Tell me if this is the work of madness. Or if, on the contrary, you manage to detect some logic, a rationality to follow so that I may understand it.
Is that all you want from me?
Yes, please.
All right. I'll look at your picture. That's all you've got? The painting?
I placed a file on your desk. It contains everything I have on the affair.
What's this symbol on the man's chest? It's as if Sarah Hawkins breathed a message into it.
It's an interesting way of looking at it. I mean, we know as the player that there's going to be more to it than that, but without that, it's like, well, maybe she's just a really creative painter.
A warehouse on Darkwater. Some sketches of the Hawkins family. Rather thin.
The shipping label, some of it is unreadable, but I can make out part of the address, Warehouse 36 Darkwater. The police report. It says that the fire started in the dining room and claimed the whole family. The police decide on a domestic accident, but they, nevertheless, insist on Sarah Hawkins' mental frailty. Why? A press cutting. An article written about the marriage of Sarah and Charles Hawkins, a businessman from the island of Darkwater. They live a recluse life with their only son, Simon. It's Simon.
So, Mr. Pierce, what do you make of these elements?
The meaning could be exactly as it appears. I think your daughter is sending you a message.
That's what I believe, too. It was 3 months ago that I received the call from the police telling me of my daughter's death. And yet a short while after, this painting was delivered to my home. The painting is linked to this case, can't you see? You must find the meaning behind all this.
Beep beep. I read about her mental fragility. Police
You
report.
must tell me if what the police suggest about the mental state of your daughter is true.
No. Sarah had visions. Everyone knew that. She never would have hurt a fly. She only thought she saw things.
That's called being
Saw
crazy.
things. What do you mean by that?
I never knew what she meant by that. My daughter was an enigmatic figure, Mr. Pierce. You must find out the truth about her life and death.
Her husband was a big deal on the island. But the police are sticking to the accident theory. Though they mentioned Sarah's mental state was fragile. I believe you are right, sir. This case is not as simple as it appears.
I am aware of that. I believe there is more to this case than just an accident.
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwater. Find Warehouse 36.
Darkwater? Never heard of the place. Where is that?
It's a small, remote island off the coast of Boston. Sarah lived there with her son and her husband.
I suppose you want to ship me off there.
Darkwater holds the secret regarding my daughter, Mr. Pierce. You must uncover it.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
I'm willing to do anything for my daughter to recover her honor.
Quiet down. I'm on your side. Let's sum things up. An artist dies with her family in a house fire. Your only clue is a sort of promontory painting sent from Darkwater right before her death.
Correct. And the rumors about her supposed folly.
Which you don't totally deny.
Find that warehouse. Find out the truth regarding Sarah Hawkins' death. You'll be handsomely compensated.
All right. I'll take the case.
Handsomely.
I'll go to Darkwater and look into the death of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I didn't expect any less coming from a man in your situation.
What situation is that?
Something's queer. But it's not like I have a choice. Darkwater. I think I've got a book on the North Atlantic. I'll no doubt find some information on this island in there.
Yeah.
I used to be an avid reader.
Alright, so we're looking for...
Darkwater is off the
There we
coast
go.
of Boston. But I've never heard of it. According to this book, it was often mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the 19th century. But it seems to have been shunned since then.
Excuse me, sorry. Darkwater Island has been inhabited since the 14th century. Okay. I was rolling that one around in my head there for a second, but then I read the rest of the sentence. And is still rich with the many memories left by its lost tribes. But don't let the romanticism of these moving evidences of such naive and primitive beliefs fool you into forgetting how violent their gods were. A gigantic creature still ornates the walls of long-abandoned caves. Was it a sea or a dream god? No one knows. But today's inhabitants, the sons and daughters of the proud whale hunters, still remember the mysterious and tumultuous story of their small land off the coast of Massachusetts.
All I have to do is go to the port. I just hope that I can find a boat able
I've never
to take
been to
me
Massachusetts
Darkwater.
before. Probably shouldn't drink anymore. We're on the job. Maybe later. Masso JJ. Everything I know about Massachusetts comes from the Elvis or whatever his name is song. We are loading. Okay, Pierce took the Hawkins case. The cursed artist accused of having caused the fire that killed her and her family. As the only clue, she left her father a disturbing painting. On the shipping label, an address. A warehouse set on the docks of the island of Darkwater. The place seems to be the starting point for Pierce's investigation. Let's enter the madness. Some of the texturing's a little rough, but it's not a problem. It still looks good. A Call of Cthulhu.
Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload.
This dock is a mess.
Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
Why, thank you, Captain Fitzroy.
So, what wind brought you?
Does the Hawkins case mean anything to you?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget. Charles Hawkins may have been a landlubber, but he was a good man.
And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
A nice young woman, and a great painter. What a tragedy. You know what? Go have a drink at the Stranded Whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you. As for me, you'll find me at the Harbor Master's office. If it's the Hawkins family that brings you here, I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood.
I still
Going for a
insist
look
that,
around the
like,
docks.
I know that they've since shut down, but like a game done in like the Telltale Games format, but set in like a Lovecraftian story would be excellent. I mean, just great. It would be a good way of telling more Lovecraftian stories. What's this? A glowing green lantern. Prohibition.
Prohibition is just a joke around here. That suits me fine.
Let the police do their work. Hey, Sullivan. Can't you go any faster?
You've seen how old this thing is. If we force it too much, we'll break everything.
You can't do that.
But it's only a fish.
A fish? You've got no idea. Don't badmouth what you don't know, or you'll pay for it for sure.
Okay, that's enough. Step back and let us do our job.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
You shysters.
They can't understand.
There's a fish in the yard.
Idiots. Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
Ma!
Treat an omen.
Oh
I
yeah?
love that video. Alright, do we want to go in the tavern? Or the dockmaster, harbor master's office first? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Eh. It's a horrible way to pick things. Well, this clearly looks more interesting, and I remember more interesting things happening in here. But let's go ahead and get this one out of the way, because I don't even remember what happens in here. So it must not have been that special. This is not an OSHA inspection.
I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman, Cat.
Terms of our agreement are clear. Keep your men under control. You cannot afford to provoke us. No need to answer his message. Just make your payment to the carrier. Cat.
Broken. This place seems half abandoned. Fishing equipment. Could do with some rust remover.
Hey! 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 It's a working toilet. Well, I mean, ostensibly it's a working toilet. It doesn't actually work in the game.
This blackboard hasn't been used in a long while.
I love it when, like, video games have, like, functioning bathroom equipment. It serves no purpose whatsoever, except for the games where there's, like, something related to the mechanic, but a lot of games, it's just there.
The Scylla. It finished up beached at the entrance to the harbor.
But it's entertaining. Huh. That's a chart. It looks like a scene from Moby Dick. Volume 2, The Learning of Medicine. You see, like, you can find stuff that will give you progress. I think. Sanity, nightmares. Edward Pierce is a veteran of the First World War, where he took part in the oh man. Musa Argonne? I don't know. Offensive. I'm butchering that completely, and I apologize. He is one of the few survivors of the Lost Battalion, American units that suffered heavy losses from enemy and allied artillery fire. Forced to hold their position for several days, surrounded by the bodies of their fallen comrades, without food or medical supplies. The soldiers were considered as lost by their fellow countrymen. Pierce is traumatized by these events, and he consumes sleeping pills and liquor to ward off the nightmares that haunt him. Definitely, Oh, okay. Other than what you claim at the start, these can only be trained by discovery. I forgot about that. We'll start moving up eloquence just in case we need it. While we are in town, we may need to be eloquent. That which I am not. So I'm glad I don't have to be eloquent as part of my job.
This man and Fitzroy could be twins.
I like his peg leg.
What a macabre souvenir.
There's the peg leg. Thought it was pronounced macabre. Alright. Plenty of little things to look at in this game.
I've brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you. But in truth, you're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
These manifests are signed by Charles Hawkins. But that's all I'll get from them.
Only a few dates are legible. 1890, 1907, and a partial date. The rest of the document is blacked out. Ah, redacted. Who would want this information hidden? Probably somebody with, you know, bad intentions. But let's talk to Fitzroy again. Yo, Fitz.
From here, I see everything that goes on in the harbor.
But
The
can he see
hard-working
why
lives
kids
of
love
my
Cinnamon Toast
sailors,
Crunch?
The fights at the stranded whale. Even the antics of these wharf rats don't escape me.
It's you who lays down the law around here.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'm just the last serving captain on Darkwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got no idea who did it or why. I don't remember having countersigned anything special enough for someone to hide it.
And why obliterate the dates, as well as the goods stored in the warehouse?
You mean that the dates have some meaning?
I know that Charles Hawkins was descended from a family of ship owners, and the island's fishing industry was hit badly.
Indeed, we specialized in whaling, but no whalers went out to sea after the miraculous catch of 1847.
So where did the Hawkins family get its money?
Well, from what Charles inherited, I presume. Although, these dates on the manifests could indicate that he had contracts of another kind.
With whom, I wonder? I was looking at your photograph. One of the man in front of the boat.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you, but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Your father?
John Fitzroy, captain of the Scylla. His wooden leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
I found a threatening letter, signed by a certain cat.
What? I don't mind you visiting my harbor master's office, but I'd prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
Are you being blackmailed?
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
Understood.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
It belonged to the Hawkins family.
Precisely.
I think that somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse. I shall be on my way.
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
I should be going. Shepard. Alright. Let's go to... Yeah, let's look around a little bit.
You saw what happened with those sailors. Don't hang around here unless you want trouble with the bootleggers.
This warehouse looks abandoned. Why does it interest them so much?
No doubt a question of territory, but I ain't asking. You want to know more, go ask the captain.
Good. Thank you. I've seen the kind of messages their boss sends. You're not scared of her.
Of course I am. Everyone's scared of that woman. She's not interested in small fry like me. You, on the other hand, nose around too much, you'll have dealings with her.
I shall take my leave.
Huh.
That's no way to treat an omen. Oh yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble.
I bet that smells terrible. You look just like that other guy. Just with slightly less facial hair.
You live here?
Why did you do that, huh?
We saw what you did to St. Brendan.
Yeah, we'll teach you to come onto our island and ridicule our protectors.
How can I be the one who defaced your saint? I've just come ashore, you idiots.
That's true. We're as drunk as lords.
You bet. You could have gone by without us seeing you.
Do not rile me. You can hardly stand up.
He's right. We're no match.
For the moment. We're annoyed. It's understandable.
There's you, our beloved statue, and then those two bozos behind us. Wait, now that I think about it, it's got to be them. There's one of them who's always going back and forth to the statue.
Quieter. That's all we need for them to hear us.
What brings you to dark water?
Let's find out about the island.
That statue represents your local saint.
What do you mean by local, exactly?
You wouldn't be looking down at us, like all townspeople do.
St. Brendan. He protected whalers and fishermen like us. Until those assholes defaced him.
Isn't it a bit early for alcohol?
We got nothing better to do anyway. There's not much work around here.
Fitzroy gives us a few chores every now and again, but since the whaling station shut down, ain't a lot of jobs left around here.
So we drink.
Peculiar house.
Yeah, that's where we live. Our boat.
It's not because it doesn't float anymore that we're going to abandon it.
What?
The two guys behind you. What are they guarding?
The bootleggers. Scum.
They're protecting their territory. From whom, I wonder?
They really don't have a choice anyway. They're more scared of Cat than an attack by drunken sailors.
If only they would kill each other.
Is it Cat who's shaking down
Jesus.
Captain Fitzroy?
Oh, hold on just a minute. We didn't tell you a thing.
Nothing at all.
I've taken enough of
That's
your
it.
time.
They're done.
See
talking
you
to me.
later.
Man. They live in that thing. And if Claire Redfield, the OSHA inspector, was here, she'd be throwing a fit. Yeah!
There. Hello, old friend.
Can I put that up? How do I put it up? What do I do? Crap, hold on. Let me see if there's a keybind for it. Ah, there we go. St. Brendan the Navigator. Yeah, it's definitely defaced, alright.
St. Brendan, patron saint of sailors and travelers. Desecrated. I can't even say which language it's written in.
Someone definitely went to town on it.
No, if it gets out, I'll have serious problems with you-know-who.
How could you be dumb enough to leave the entrance to the warehouses unguarded?
Keep your voice down. Why not go and shout at the cat while you're at it? I don't want to end up with her little knife under my throat.
It's a stiletto, you idiot. And with that smell on your breath, I don't give you much chance anyway. Who's this guy?
No idea. You better keep it shut.
Why, we don't have a clear conscience.
What's with you wandering around here like a hungry dog?
We saw you talking to the two soaks. Go die of thirst, the lot of you. It'll stink less.
I've got to enter the Hawkins warehouse. I guess it's gonna be complicated.
No, it's very simple, in fact. Fuck off.
I don't give a damn about your racket. I just want to get into this warehouse.
And we don't give a damn about you. Whatever your reason for wanting inside, there's nothing we can do for you.
I went to see the statue of St. Brendan.
What makes you think we did it?
We're bootleggers, not savages.
Who do you think defaced the statue?
What do I know? They could have done it by themselves.
The sailors.
Who else, in your opinion? And who's interested?
So, who are you?
Are you stupid or are you doing it on purpose?
Everybody knows us on Darkwater.
I've just arrived.
Let's just say we're standing guard for the owner of the site. And we let no one enter her property.
Cap. She's your boss.
What? You listen through keyholes.
She's the boss, yeah. She says who goes in or not.
Shut up, you dummy. You wanted to know that you also talk too much.
She must be quite intimidating if she can make two men like you tremble.
She redid the smile at the last one who wanted to get in.
I hope he had a good dentist.
No, you don't understand. She really cut him a new smile.
But he only smiles with the left cheek.
Damn. Gave him the old half-joker.
What are you guarding exactly?
Listen, bonehead, we already told you that we're guarding our boss's turf.
She sounds frightening, your boss.
And she doesn't like to be talked about behind her back.
I bid you gentlemen farewell.
Should I? I don't trust my eloquence rating here. It's pretty low.
Where do you think you're going?
Who are these others so interested in the warehouse?
And why would I tell you?
His face is super dirty.
You and I are on the same side of the law.
Oh, yeah?
You don't want to know the truth behind this case.
Are you saying our work was not up to snuff? Forget it.
I feel like there was some missing dialogue there, but...
I'm not here to hinder your work, officer. Edward Pierce, private detective.
Sorry, we're all a little on edge today. What are you doing here?
I'm investigating the death of the Hawkins family.
Darn it. Why do you want to drag up all that stuff again?
My investigation has led me to this warehouse.
That case was closed months ago.
What more can you say about the death of the Hawkins family?
Not much more than what everyone knows. I wasn't on the case. They were all burnt to death, right? Up at their place.
The whole mansion went up in flames.
Don't get it into your head to go wandering around up there. It's dangerous.
What do you mean by that?
The only one left there is old Silas, and the accident has affected him badly. He can be unpredictable, especially if a stranger starts poking around the property.
Is he a danger to the public?
No, he's in his own home. Do yourself a favor. Leave him well alone.
You know we're not going to do that. We don't leave anything alone. We're not capable of leaving things alone. I forget how you get CP.
There's something coming.
I gained a point, but I just don't remember how.
Don't put that beast back in
The blood is just beginning to coagulate. It died a short time ago. Killer whales have few predators. And there are no sharks in these waters. What creature could possibly have done this?
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy. Cops, they can't understand. Damn stupid idiots. Forget it. Nobody listens
Stupid
to us anyway.
Dumbo.
That's no way to treat an omen.
The same goes for you, sir.
Oh, look.
Move along.
There's the half-joker smile guy. See his... Yeah.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important. I can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into those games, me. Now,
Please, allow me to do my job.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Hey, we can talk to these guys.
We're no longer at home on our own island.
Calm down. It's not worth the effort.
I told him, that flunky, that he'll see what a real sailor has in his belly.
If you continue like that, everyone will see what you've got in your belly.
I hope so. I hope they don't forget the lesson. Me? I'm not scared of some girl.
I mean they're going to cut you open, you idiot. Calm down.
So many things to do, people to see, things to investigate. I enjoy that about this game.
Hey, be careful. Let's get him another drink. He's dry.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
Pure instinct. I behaved like a Hun, and I sincerely apologize.
Veteran, huh?
307th Infantry Regiment.
Oh. Well, that'll be okay for now. But the war is over. Try not to forget it.
I'm here for information, not for a fight.
I prefer it that way. Speak then. I reserve the right to answer or not.
Captain Fitzroy told me about a little pick-me-up.
You want a drink?
Of course I want a drink.
I wouldn't say no to a glass.
Try this.
Just chuck it under the bar.
I think we'll get along well. I didn't expect to find alcohol on this island. What's the source of this miracle?
You mean who? Our source of supply wouldn't like me to betray them to the first comer.
I'll tell nobody.
She'd know it anyway. Anything else?
That pretty much tells us who does it.
The stranded whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
What can I tell you? I'm a nostalgic sort of guy. The name, it reminds us of the golden age of dock water. When our whalers left for long months and came back, sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of the whales they'd been hunting.
It was a tough time, all the same.
Ah, but steeped in glory. We've never known such wealth since then.
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Tortured?
Yeah, well, it wasn't normal. I mean, for a young woman with a child and all that. We saw them in the papers and we said to ourselves, who can paint such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable?
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your own mind.
Her vision. Was it so terrible?
Way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
What can you tell me about it?
Oh.
We all knew then.
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
Let's ask about the
What
warehouse.
do you know about the Hawkins warehouse?
If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors. Sailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night. Screams, that sort of thing.
Screams?
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it. But I'll say no more. Anything else?
He's a cool-looking dude.
That'll be all for now. Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker and a debtor. Interesting.
Huh. Wonder if that's a supernatural reference there. S. Winchester.
And then he said, "You have no right to treat us like this."
And the doctor, what did he say?
He laughed.
My God.
You said it.
I said it.
She will do it again, you know.
Oh,
The girl doctor, Colden. She won't stop asking.
not that again. She will get us into trouble.
I know.
The miraculous catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
Jesus. Literally nothing else has happened in this town. 21st of May, 1847. The Scylla returns to port to save Darkwater from famine. We had given up hope. The crew of the Scylla, or what remains of it, returned to Darkwater port late on Tuesday afternoon. The locals immediately rushed to the docks to welcome the last whaling ship on the island. People were amazed at the sight of the unbelievable catch the brave vessel had on board. Of a size that went beyond that of the formidable toothed whales. The cetacean that is already being hauled the miraculous catch covered the whole deck, and parts of it were hanging over the side of the ship. The surviving sailors told a frightening account of their perilous catch, but also of its meat, unmatched in its quality and plentiful nutritious benefits. There is no doubt that the immense size of this whale will allow numerous inhabitants of Darkwater to feed themselves, bringing an end to the famine from which part of the island was suffering. Warehouse for rent. Mr. Marks is putting his warehouse up for rent from June for fishing, workshop, or storage activities. You can contact him via your favorite newspaper or visit him on the dock. Special evening at the Stranded Whale. To celebrate the return of our brave whalers, all the staff of the Stranded Whale invite you to an exceptional and free tasting event. Come with your family or with friends to taste the miraculous catch. Each person will leave with a bottle of oil, so don't hesitate. I bet it wasn't a real whale.
Do you like our song?
We're true sirens. We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got.
That's true. It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
You weren't fishing for whales. That was 80 fucking years ago.
What brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course.
They all disappeared.
You exhausted the stocks.
You could say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them.
Until the last, the biggest.
The one of the miraculous catch.
Exactly.
I mean, at a certain point, you kind of have to move on. That would be like a town nowadays talking about their past glory in the year 1952.
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the miraculous catch.
I saw the newspaper clipping. You don't believe it, do you?
Watch what you say, young man.
That catch saved our island.
Ah. Where's the proof?
We're the proof.
Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847.
It's true. Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report. Our grandparents tasted its flesh.
And it was delicious.
I heard the Hawkins family
Taste
owned
of
a
the
warehouse
flesh.
on the docks.
An old family of ship owners.
Tell me something I don't already know.
They were made much richer by the miraculous catch.
You shouldn't talk about the dead like that.
We're not speaking ill, we're just saying that Daniel Hawkins made a fortune without taking any risk.
There! You're speaking ill, you see.
It's your proof that the miraculous catch really did happen.
I bid you farewell, gentlemen.
Almost
Good night,
80 years ago.
stranger.
So long.
What? Another break?
One of those damn sailors came looking for trouble again.
But he won't try again anytime soon. We gave him a good hiding.
So you said to yourselves that after such a feat, you could abandon your post.
It's just a little drink. We taught those guys a lesson.
We'll return right after. It's just that standing guard in this alley makes your throat dry.
That fool Fitzroy can't keep his dogs on a leash.
I'll have to send him a more clear-cut message.
She will get us into trouble.
I know.
Let's go see if Fitzroy has anything new to say before I try talking to Kat. Oh, yeah.
You're back again.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
Bootleggers are blocking access
Apparently,
to
the
the warehouses.
bootleggers don't want anyone hanging around the warehouses.
They're part of the private property I mentioned earlier.
And yet the place looks abandoned. Why guard the entrance?
As a precaution, I suppose. All the warehouses are more or less interconnected by old sewers.
You mean that there's a way to go from one to the other by tunnel?
I couldn't tell you if it's still the case today for all the warehouses on the island, but I think I can imagine what you've got in mind. You can always visit them if you're not the claustrophobic type. You're back again. What can I do for you?
This sounds like a bad idea.
I'm just back from the wharves. The dead killer whale is unsettling the sailors.
Ah, yes.
So there are
Us
still
men of the sea are
whales.
superstitious folk.
I examined its wounds. I know of no creature able to cause them.
And I took you for a detective.
Believe me when I say that these wounds are significant.
Come. You've only just arrived on Darkwater, and already you think like a sailor.
The police took the decision to put the killer whale back into the sea.
You've got to understand them. They didn't know what to do with it.
I think that was a mistake. Who says that whatever caused those wounds is no longer in these waters?
You think we should have kept it?
To look into the real cause of its death, at least. Your superstitions are expressed in a rather disturbing fashion.
What do you mean?
The statue at the entrance of the harbor, St. Brendan. Somebody disfigured it mercilessly.
I condemn these actions. St. Brendan is the protector of the whalers, and this statue a witness to our history.
You don't know who could have done it.
I wonder as much as you do. I hope they'll be punished.
The miraculous catch. Is it a local legend?
Not at all. It's an episode from our glorious past. Go read the story of the sailor's return to Darkwater Harbor. It's displayed on a wall of the stranded whale.
I shall be on my way.
So come
So he
back
did
and
have
see
more to
me
say.
when you've got something new.
But nothing really that useful. I mean, we know about the sewers now, but...
Damn stupid idiots. Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
You dadgum dum-dums.
No way to treat an omen.
Oh, yeah.
Big old stupid heads.
Well, well, look who's back.
Did you miss us?
Yeah.
I have an offer that could interest you.
We're listening.
I need you to keep them busy for a while.
You send us to take the punishment while you go quietly about your business. What's in it for us?
What would convince you to help me?
There's only one thing that'll get us to move.
For sure. Bring us something to drink and we'll take care of the bootleggers.
Oh, gentlemen. I do, in fact, have something for you.
Look what I've got.
You're a good guy, you.
Alright, now go get in a fight. And just pick it back up.
Cheers, you jackass.
I don't feel well.
Hey, where are you going?
Say that again. I hope for your sake that I didn't hear.
No, it's not what you think. It's just that you shouldn't hide your hooch in a fisherman's cup.
I don't think I did this way the first time I played.
Let's see. Shoot. I'll have to find another way to get in.
Seriously?
It's no
Really?
use.
Really?
That luck won't give.
That was just a gigantic waste of my time.
Well, well. A little mouse has got lost on our turf. What gave you the crazy idea to come onto my turf?
Your turf. That's news to me.
For a guy who has no idea, you've been doing a fair bit of poking around. My men saw you staking out the Hawkins warehouse.
Is that against the law?
I'm no idiot, Detective. I'll tell you how things work around here. I decide who comes in and who stays out. And anyone who doesn't respect my rules, I punish them.
Is your name Kat?
What of it?
Maybe we can come to an understanding.
Maybe. Or maybe not.
Whoa, hey.
Get this joker out of here. He might have a little trouble walking on his own.
No, it's okay. Don't worry.
Ugh.
It's okay now.
I'm getting careless. I didn't see that coming. If I want to get into this warehouse, I'm gonna have to deal with her.
My tongue got ahead of my senses.
That was pathetic.
Like that. Hey, tell him to calm down. It was just a little joke.
So I mustn't have understood it because it didn't make me laugh.
You again. I told you to beat it.
No need to
Just
get worked
beat
up.
it. Dun, 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 dun.
Cops, they can't understand. Damn stupid idiots.
Hey.
A handle. It must come from these old winches.
Hey.
This ratchet device seems to be usable.
What's this?
A whale vertebra. If the newspaper
whale
clipping in the bar is true, this bone is a real fossil.
It's not a fossil unless there was mineral replacement of the bone. It's just an old bone.
I could use this old winch.
What on earth is there more to do? Am I missing something yet?
This tunnel goes under the warehouses.
What else is there? Oh, wait, here we go. Wow, that was
Should be possible to mount this cogwheel on the winch. Looks like everything is in its place. All that's left is to try to turn this handle. Damn, I broke it.
Really? Really? You broke it? My dude. Seriously.
You're back again. What can I do for you?
Can you tell me?
Look, I've already shown it to you. It's the one with the cop on guard duty out front. You can't miss it.
Understood. I shall be on my way.
So come back.
What can I get you?
I read the article on the miraculous catch. Interesting local folklore.
Don't get it into your head to repeat that round here. It's more than folklore. On that day, the crew of the Scylla caught an exceptional catch. The biggest whale ever caught. They saved Darkwater from famine.
Charles Hawkins owed you a lot of money. Do you know if he had problems?
I don't know the details, and it's not my business. Money or not, he was always welcome in my bar. The Hawkins family was always much appreciated on the island.
You seem to know Charles Hawkins well. How about his wife, Sarah Hawkins?
Well, she was a local somebody. We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
You seem to know Charles Hawkins well.
Damn it.
Well, we all and
I've got
anything.
Well,
that'll be all
that's
for
it.
now.
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations, gifted with its own consciousness, until it finds a new reader.
Yeah?
Ah, that's it. Maybe we should let him take it. No. No, the risks are too high. It's a book, after all. Pure knowledge.
Do you like us?
We may.
That's true.
I bid you farewell.
Good night.
So long.
Hey, Mitchell. A drink for our new friend. I owe you. You don't know how to fight, but at least you've got guts.
Yeah. Aching guts.
Huh. I've got them too. But you don't hear me whining like a pooch who's lost its leash. You didn't back down. It's something that I respect. So understand by that. If I catch you again, you'll carry a more permanent reminder of our encounter. Tell me, what brings you to Darkwater?
I'm investigating the deaths of the Hawkins family.
It's very nice of you to tell me the truth so openly. But it's also really stupid of you. You really don't seem to know the area. Let me give you a little advice. If you want to survive more than a day in this rat hole, avoid talking about them to the first people you meet.
I've got a few questions about the island.
I'm not here to give you information. Mitchell will tell you what he wants to tell you.
Is that more dangerous than having a drink with you?
I'm not kidding. The old families, they were here long before us. And they'll be here long after we're gone.
The old families?
The descendants of the first whalers. These people truly worship their ancestors.
I need to get into the Hawkins warehouse.
You're out of luck. It's on my turf.
It's precisely for that reason that I've come to see you.
Are you pulling my leg?
Think it over. I've seen what you're capable of. And you didn't miss me.
I accept the compliment. Well, I see you're serious. To be honest, as long as it doesn't interfere with my business, I don't care. But I'll go with you, to make sure you don't stick your nose into things that don't concern you.
Sounds honest to me.
I'm not finished. If I do that for you, if I let you onto our turf to conduct your little affairs, you'll be indebted to me. And I guarantee that I always collect on what I'm owed. Think about it. I help you, you'll owe me a favor in return. Do you accept?
I don't like it, but my skills aren't where they freaking need to be to, do this without her.
Do I have a choice?
Oh, we always have one,
She's kind of
Detective.
a piece of shit.
Follow me.
Nobody questions your authority here. I was given to believe that Fitzroy stood up to you.
That dope tried to save face in front of his sailors. They revere their brave captain as they do their old statues. But sooner or later, All statues get buried in bird shit, and nobody cares.
And the police? They do nothing to stop you?
The local cops? The cops drink like everyone else, sweetheart. They know where their interests lie. Apart from that pig-headed Bradley. I don't know whether to admire his stubbornness.
This is one of those games where you can't walk as slow as they do.
That's no way to treat an omen. Oh yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming.
I don't know why that's still a thing. Not singling anyone out. I mean, barely count on one hand how many games I've seen where like you can walk at the same speed as an NPC. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want to walk as slow as her normally, but I don't know. She is a cool character. She's just not a friendly one. Wait, if this is her, if it's on her turf, shouldn't she have...
Do I still need to hold your hand? Or do you think you'll get by on your own now?
Don't overdo it.
Good. In that case, I'll leave you. I've done enough mothering for now.
Yeah, you're a real big help.
Ugh, this place stinks. What is the connection between this place and the Sarah Hawkins case? Who has enough money to buy painkillers, but stays in a place like this? It smells as bad as it looks.
That's gross.
Is this one of Sarah Hawkins' paintings?
Le Petit Paris. Oh, Le Petit Parisien. I don't know. I can't speak French.
I know how that feels.
And, like, I guarantee you I just butchered another pronunciation.
What is this picture of Charles and Sarah Hawkins doing here?
Probably, like, insultingly bad pronunciation. Looks like somebody didn't like how they look.
The glass is shattered, like someone smashed it. Was it before or after the removal of these bandages?
I bet it was afterward. Saw how creepy his face was, all Cthulhu'd. Was like, no! Just took it out. Alright, I don't think there's anything else here.
Someone has settled in here. And whoever it is has something to tell me about the Hawkins case. Is there anyone in there? You! Don't move! Detective Pierce. I told you to stay away from this warehouse.
Wound up? You mean messed up?
No. We don't take no lessons from the likes of you. We do our job carefully and fairly. No stone was left unturned.
Really? Can you explain what this painting is doing here?
This strange portrait. Wait, I know it. It was in the Hawkins mansion when we came to investigate the fire.
So you confirm that it was removed from the crime scene? Interesting. I'd like to go and see the mansion now.
Of course. You want to go back along his trail?
I'd like to understand how this painting made it to here.
Come on. My car's
Alright.
parked down the way. Andrews, would you please shut the door? And open your eyes, damn it. This guy went right under your nose. God damn it. Her again. This case has nothing to do with you, Baker. Clear the passage or I'll shut you up for obstruction.
Officer Bradley, you've finally grown a pair. Too bad you're too fat to see them down there.
Why you?
Come on, keep the smile. You don't want to force me to widen it.
Okay, I get it. Can we go to the mansion now?
I thought I'd straightened you out, mister. I am disappointed, but we'll meet again.
Is it far, this mansion?
Look behind you, at the top of the ridge. You see the building? That's the Hawkins mansion. Come on, we got some driving to do.
Alright. That's going to start chapter 3. It is approaching 2-hour mark, so I will probably be shutting it down here. Thank you guys for watching tonight. I'll be back Thursday to play some more of the game, and we'll see what's going on in the Hawkins Mansion. Okay, here we go. Alright. Thank you guys again, and good night.